Hello everyone. Um, in today's video I've got a special guest student coming in today to give us a visit. I'll introduce you to them when they turn up, but on with the video. We're going to be doing the activity 3, the designing of the initial ideas, in today's little video. It won't be as long as the others. We're just going to go through a simple design and go from there. What I'd expect to be looking for your answers to cover everything. Just remember, you have got everything from your sheets. You would have had your brief where you would have underlined and maybe put some annotation. You might highlight some areas. You're going to work with that, create your initial ideas. You only need 3. Put as much information. If you need more paper, ask for more paper. They will give it to you while you're in the exam. Okay, not going to begrudge you for that. Use as much of the paper as you can. Stick it, don't stick it in one corner. Smash it straight in the middle of the page, and then you have some projected views from left, right, and centre, and leave some space to put annotation. Now, it's better if you can get it on the same page, so as they're reading it, they can see, oh, you're talking about that feature on your drawing. If you do need an additional sheet, then the annotation would be relevant to the second sheet. Don't annotate on your second sheet for your first sheet. You know what I mean? You know, you've got to be. You want to take notice of what your ideas are. We'll go from there. Now, I've done this fast as I can, as simply as I can. The detail, you might want to put more detail. You might have a different way of getting things across. Use your own style. Don't do it my way, because I do it how I would do it, and just recognise it. We've done enough exams, I've done enough this and that to understand what the client wants. You need to learn that. Hopefully you've learned enough so you can do that effectively as well. Right, let's get to it. So we're going to have a look at doing activity 3 for this exam here. So this is the one that's using the mock exam, using the shelving unit you see here. That's the shelving unit we're dealing with. And if you remember rightly, this is what I've highlighted on my sheets. There and there. We'll go through those. And then obviously the times that we've got to worry about there as well. So let's get those out of the way. I want to draw your attention to this one here. And we're looking at activity 3. Produce a range of 3 or 4 initial design ideas based on the client brief to include sketches and annotations. We're going to go back to the client brief there. I'll find the bloody thing. And here. Now, remember, as we scrutinised this, we underlined certain areas and stuff like that. When we produce our designs, we need to include as much as we can on that to cover all of those. And at the same time, the shelving unit must. We've got to deal with this. That's what it is. So why don't we have a go at drawing a simple shelving unit so you can get the idea of what things are. Now please remember, a label is not annotation. Okay, so let's have a go at the first drawing shelf. Now what I will do is lean on the book, because you'll be drawing in the booklet, so I'm going to lean on the book and we're going to go from there. So imagine that's your drawing page. Put it up here, it's not going to give you much room to do anything there. Same with the bottom here. So if you put your item in the middle, you can then draw auxiliary views, and you can put other bits and pieces there. You can annotate some notes across here. I'm just doing some simple lines there. Text boxes, so what materials and that business you can put in there. But this is just let's get going with the sketches. So what I designed so far, it's a bolted system. So in the isometric simple view, you've got a shelf, a corner post and a joining bracket that you see here. That joining bracket actually squeezes in between that bit there. I'll put the sizes down so to show people that this is going to stay to the sizes that they originally wanted. It's going to be bolted together, so we have 3 bolts on here. So we're going to use a nylock nut here, off the shelf low cost items, the bolt and the nut, or you want to call it screw, whatever you want to call it, and it sandwiches that plate in between to create a nice quite tight joint. Now remember the original one, I'll find it. The original one had no bolts or screws, it just had a pin, right? So if whatever material it was going to be made out, it was going to be rubbish to start off with. I've chose mild steel because that's going to be the cheapest off the shelf material. Aluminium is a little bit more expensive but lighter. Stainless steel is a lot more expensive. You can buy probably 3 or 4 times more mild steel than you can stainless, but stainless you haven't got to paint it. You can leave it as it is. But to say, as I say, if you look at this view here, there's no fixing to stop this shelf or the pin falling out the shelf, which is pretty poor design. That's dangerous, that is. Here you can clearly see it's fully bolted together, ain't going to move anywhere, and unfortunately it's going to take longer to take apart. Okay, but you can see you'll have 4 uprights, 3 shelves, 3 joining plates, all screwed together. Put lots of holes in here, so if you decide to change the height of the shelf, you can move that up or down the column here. And at the same time, we're going to put a black rubber mat in, which is going to be glued to the top surface there. So I've just spoke about that. So if you look at the thoughts or the annotation, made from fabricated parts, laser cut in large batches, bent on the CNC brake press. So it's just in they go, just shell them like peas as I do it. Powder coated finish to prevent corrosion. It's not going to stop it, it will prevent it for a lot longer than bare metal. Screws are going to be bright zinc plated. The blackened ones will go rusty anyway, but you're going to have a little bit more longevity with the zinc plated screws there. Bolted together to make shelf up. Position the shelves adjustable. Rubber matting glued to the shelves to minimise damage to castings, which is not what we had before. It was just straight on top of a painted surface, anodised painted surface. Slower to take apart, but shelving unit is strong, protected against corrosion, can have shelves at different heights / positions. As we go from there. Now there is something else I want to add to this. I'm just going to quickly draw that. As you can see from this drawing, when this particular model is bolted together, there's no racking this way and there's no racking back to front, because it's a bolted solid system. Yes, it takes longer to disassemble and assemble, but it's safer for the user. It eliminates any racking that we had before. If you remember this one, this is those pins are slide in and out of the holes. There's nothing holding those pins in position, except for pure and utter sheer luck. As soon as you put a weight on it, it's just going to basically put a weight on the shelf. It's just going to split apart. This one here is going nowhere. Much better design. Just from there, covered a lot of stuff here. I've told you how it's going to be put together, how to get the adjustment, keeping the sizes that we wanted. Low cost items, because the nuts and bolts are going to be low cost items. If you look at the plates that you see here, they will be laser cut. They'll be shelved like peas. The shelf that you see there will be laser cut and then bent on the brake press. Even the bracket, even the side will be laser cut and bent to size, so we can get away with using 3mm plate for this one, 2mm plate for this one, and then 2mm plate for these ones as well. It all comes down to your imagination. That's a simple one. We could then go for a boltless system, which is now going to be a bit more harder to produce. This is easy to produce. Harder to produce, it takes a lot longer, and it adds cost. We go straightforward to weld it together, but it has to come apart. Or does it have to come apart? Think about this later on. If I make of aluminium, we know the aluminium that we had was one of the better performers, right? Was one of the better performers, okay, that we have there. So if we have aluminium and it's anodized, we could leave it together and simply use a forklift truck to move it from one side to another. It doesn't have to come apart. You've got to have all these thoughts to going around each other. Anyway, as I promised, a special student guest is my boy Guzzy. Silly ass has rubbed his chin a little bit heavy, and he's made his lip bleed. So he's all right now. But this one's Gizmo, my little boy. There you go. I'm going to put him down, let him go, and then I'll wrap the video up. There you go, boy. So that was my little boy, Gizmo. He's a bit of a numbnuts, but hey, he's a lovely little boy. Anyway, coming back to what we're doing today. You've got to do three sketches, okay? You know you can do a bolted one. You know you can do a boltless one. And this particular thing, shelvings are usually 99% fabricated for industrial shelving, as they call it. You're not going to use IKEA stuff. The Billy bookcase will not handle it. It catch fire if the casters are hot as well. So just be aware of that. Now, whatever you get in your exam, be it a machine part, fabricated part, it might be cast and something like that. Think of the simple one. Keep the let's just say your ideas simple, and then embellish them afterwards. Okay, so embellish them. You might want to put some extra detail on it. Instead of having a sharp corner, you might want to put a radius or a chamfer and something like that. Now, as I say, I do not know what's in the exam. Again, I wish you all good luck on this one. Now remember, it's 1 hour 15 minutes, as they suggested from previous exam papers to do that. So 1 hour 15 minutes, divide by 3, give yourself so much time per one. If you can get it done in a short amount of time, or make sure you get activity 1 and activity 2 and save some time in there. If you can save 10 minutes, you use 10 minutes extra time on your design task. Okay, you only need 3. So the next video will be on activity 4 and 5, where I will be sharing my screen to go through the paperwork and discuss what you need for each one. Again, I'll try and keep it short, and as I say, make sure you turn up to your exams on time. No messing about. So as it stands, over and out. See you out and about.